But a couple key things to note. Remember, when you get these bills, scan them top to bottom, left to right. First thing you'll notice without noticing anything else is Ambit Perks, Ultimate Perks Program. That's the plan they're on. It's being advertised right there as soon as you look at page 1 of the bill. Ambit will put on the bill, most of you know this already, how long they've had Ambit. When did they sign up? So right underneath their name, valued customer since 8/12/2024. So this customer is new. When I signed this customer up, they had just moved in. I got this deal like a month ago. So you've already identified 2 key pieces of information. Number 1, you know the program they're on. Number 2, you know they just moved in. So now you can follow that up with, oh, I see you just moved in, where are you from? And that can take you in a whole different direction. You won't know to ask these questions to build rapport and establish common ground if you don't look at the bill. If you're always in desperation mode, trying to find the easiest way to close, looking for the highest prices, if you're in that mode, you may miss out on some really, really easy key pieces of information. And if I'm remembering this deal correctly, I closed this guy in the fact that he paid a deposit and we may not have one. And I did a qualify close. And if I'm remembering that meeting, I think I covered, yeah, I did, right? And that's how I got this one. First deposit installment, second deposit installment. So this customer, this is their first bill, and they paid a $260 deposit on this bill, $130, $130. So the way that Ambit will do it, and other companies like TXU, they'll likely request half up front and half on bill 1. So this deposit was $260. This guy paid $130 first. That started his service, and then the other $130 was added to the first bill. So $260 deposit. So in my head, it doesn't matter if you're paying 9 cents. If I can beat that, if it's no deposit, you get your $260 back plus you get the $150 from us, right? So in this scenario, that was how I ended up getting this deal. But that's the very first thing you want to pay attention to. Note that the deposit is billed. And note that this is the very first bill that he's gotten. If you're looking at the front page, there's nothing really else on here I think that's relevant, but it just gives you the breakdown. Ambit charges $57, Encore $18, taxes $2. But if you were to compare the breakdown of the total charges, Ambit, Encore, taxes, and compared to Constellation's is way better. Just the way that they put it on the bill, it's just a better visual. This is a little harder to understand, but Constellation's is probably a lot easier, I think, for most people to really look at their bill and understand that breakdown. That's actually one of the reasons why I like Constellation, because I like how they break it all down. All right, let's move on to the next page. Also, it's worth mentioning as well, customer service, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Ambit does now have an app. Their app does work. Their customer service is not 24/7. As you can see, it's 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Ambit is owned by the same company that owns Tri-Eagle and TXU, Vistra. Remember, you won't see Vistra on a bill, but you will run into Ambits, TXUs, and Tri-Eagles. So that information probably won't get you the deal, but it's good to know. You want to try to remember who owns what company. You want to try to remember whose sister companies are whose, which companies are related. You want to remember and do your best to remember which companies have apps, which companies are only online. They don't even send paper bills, and the customer service hours for some of these companies as well. If you can practice that and study that information and really get that stuff down, then you won't miss when a customer has a question or an objection. It's all there, and you'll sound a lot more credible. Remember, credibility equals trust. All right, we're almost done. This is our last bill. So Ambit, just like Constellation, will put the full year's worth of usage. So the way they do that is because there's a smart meter. Okay, so the smart meters, we can see the usage of the previous tenant. We can forecast the usage for the next tenant. So this customer's only lived here for a few weeks, but we see a year's worth of usage. Whoever lived here before obviously used a good amount of energy. Now, this customer may not have access to average billing or budget billing, either A, because their company doesn't offer it, or B, because they're too new. But this would be a perfect example of somebody who would benefit from average billing. And again, the reason why is because there's big swings, big sways. If their usage was pretty consistent all year round, then that's not a customer that would benefit. So just keep that stuff in mind. Contract end date 8/11/2025. Again, we're not closing this customer. We're just going through when you get an Ambit bill, this is where you'll find that expiration date. Remember, all you're ever looking for is the absolute basics. If you're struggling, you don't really know what to do, you're looking for the price, you're looking for the plan, you're looking for the expiration date. But as you can see, when you get more confidence, you can kind of relax a little bit, take the pressure off, and really look at that bill and practice understanding what you're looking at. You're going to find a lot more things that you can reference, that you can bring up. Current plan, Ultimate Perks 12. 12 indicates what? What? That it's a 12-month plan. Another good thing to practice is memorizing all the exit fees of certain companies. And I'll just go through a couple. For example, Just Energy. It doesn't matter what contract you sign. 175 no matter what. Doesn't matter what contract you sign. And I know some of you are taking notes, but I'll upload this video for you guys so you can have it, because this would be a good video for some of you to watch a couple times, especially if you're just kind of going through and scrambling to write everything down. So Just Energy, $175. All contracts, doesn't matter. Ambit, let's just keep it simple, $199, 99% of the time. Most Ambit contracts, it doesn't matter if it's a 12-month or a 24-month, $199. We've seen some Ambits at $299, but it's very rare. So this 12-month program, they do not have a, like TXU, 12-month, $150. That's not the same. Ambit, 12-month, $199, $199 exit fee. So we've got the plan, we've got the expiration. Down here, a couple more things. You can see that 8 days worth of usage, 300 kilowatts, 14.7. Now, see where it says base charge on here, $2.57? Yeah. Can anybody tell me why their base charge was only $2.57?
Prorated. Yeah, prorated.
Prorated. So their base charge is likely $9.95, which is what almost all Ambit base charges are. It could be $5, it could be $10, but most base charges are $5 or $10, $4.95 or $9.95. But this one's likely $9.95. On that note, why is it only 8 days? Why is this billing period only for 8 days? Does anybody remember?
It's a partial bill.
Partial bill. So first bills, last bills are always partial bills. Anytime you sign somebody up, the bill they're going to get from their company will always be a partial bill, and then the first bill they get from Reliant will be a partial bill to true up that billing period. Yeah. So remember, we're going to wrap this up. You've got the average price over here. Everything that you need on this bill is on the third page. Energy charge, expiration date, plan, info, all right there. So any questions on the Ambit bill?